Alright, you ready for combat? I am. There's a lot to explain here, but it doesn't change. When you learn something about combat, it's that way throughout the whole game, in all instances. There are dungeon fights in this game, and there are overworld fights, but they're all the same, you know? You don't have a lot you've gotta learn, really. Once you've got the whole setting memorized, it's pretty much the same every time. So I'll go into combat here and show you. Music's awesome. More about that later. But here we are. You can see the setup. It's maximum 6 versus 6. In this case, it's 1 versus 3. There will be 3 turns or 3 actions, I suppose, because there are 3 enemies. There can be 1 through 6, actions based on the team that's larger. The largest group has the most actions, but they're shared. So, like, I have 1 person. I'm going to have to do something with Roga 3 times. The enemy has 3 people, and that's why I get to do something 3 times. If it was 2 versus 2, it would be 2 maximum. If it was 1 versus 2, it would be 2 maximum. You see? If it was Roga versus 6, unfortunately for me, probably it would be 6. And that's always how it is. So, that's how it works. Roga is a close-range fighter, and his opponent in this case, a generic student, is also a close-range fighter. So, here's his attack. They engage each other, and the boy countered. He attacked Roga. When 2 short-range people attack each other, there's a chance that the one on defense will counter the one on offense. The one on offense and the one on defense both have the opportunity to dodge, but only one of the 2 will dodge. They can't both dodge each other, So that's how that works. But in this sense, you're the only person to ever attack. You always get to choose who's attacking who. Every other turn, though, you can't see who you're dealing with. I knew who the first target was, but now I don't know who the next one is. And that's just how it is. There's a lot to explain in combat, so I'll keep it simple for this fight. The last thing I'd like to point out here is up at the top, you can see where it says counter, 92%. If Roga was attacking a mid-range or long-range fighter and they hit him before he got to them, there's a 92% chance he would continue advancing on them and fight them. They could still dodge him, though, and Roga could also dodge that attack that they throw at me, meaning that the counter doesn't matter. That's how that goes. See, right there, Roga, he took the hit, but he countered him anyway. Let's see if he dodges this time. There we go, we got a dodge. So, that's how it goes. And he killed he killed all 3 of them. That's how that goes. And he gained experience. Your guys level up in this game. If there were more people on my side, it would have been a lower experience gain, but it would have gone to both people. While I'm on the subject of combat, another man on YouTube has actually uploaded an excellent combat and overworld micromanagement video. I'll link that in my description, and I suggest you watch that. I'm going to explain all of it. I'm going to explain everything you need to know, but if you're looking for an abridged version of that, you may as well go to him, because it's excellently done. So there's that. Here, an executive working for the Daibancho of the school is talking to Tsukiyomi Kinako, and she is... I wouldn't say hot, She's not hot, but she's really cool looking. I like the way she looks. It's my style, That's the kind of style I like. She is, she's a character in the game and you can obtain her. But you've got to choose between her and a boxer. They'll be introducing the boxer to us shortly. She is stronger than the boxer guy, but her evasion is 0. She can't dodge shit. Yeah, so, there'll be more on them later on, but, she just dissolved a guy who was on her team. She dissolved the guy on her team. She means business, or, actually, she means no business at all. You can tell by her attitude. She doesn't really care. But I like her, and I'll be obtaining her and using her. So, if you're wondering, for those of you in the know, I'll be choosing Kinako over Burai. I like her more, but I'll give you my opinion on who you should choose once we meet the other guy. And in the school chapter, this very first bit of the game, there are a lot of those, you know, situations where you've got to choose one character over another, or in this case, a group. Miyazato, Erika, she has two people with her, Shorko and Saki. There we go. Shorko sucks and Saki is okay. They're both long range, and Erika is mid range. You have to choose between these three or two siblings. I'll be choosing the two siblings. I knew that when I started this, that those were who I'd be choosing. The siblings over this group. Shorko and Saki both have really good abilities. And if you don't care so much about like more advanced characters in the game, I'd go with these three. And they have a better overall bonus. Yeah, the two siblings are both individually more powerful, and they have a lot more connections with, well, I guess each other than these three have with each other. They don't have any, really. Saki and Shorko are both generics, you know, they don't have eyes. Well, really, Shorko doesn't really have eyes, we'll go with it. They don't have character clears or anything. Erika does, and both of her subordinates are required for her character clear. We'll meet the two siblings that I'll be getting later on, but right now we've got to defend our territory. So we'll be doing that. There you go. I'll explain another thing about combat right now. It's a really important thing, and I didn't notice it until very recently. And it's kind of a stupid thing not to notice. Heita's attack is 20, right? He's got a base attack of 20. There is no defensive stat in this game. The enemy's health is 25. So when Heita attacks a guy with 25 health, he does 20 damage, you know? It's always like that. It's simple subtracting attack from health. And the remainder is the enemy's, you know, health. That's all that it is. It's really simple, and it makes things a lot easier when you're trying to capture people. You can't capture people in this phase of the game, so I'll explain it later on. But I wanted to point that out. Your attack is how much you will do to their health, unless they dodge it, you know? Or unless there's some weird modifier involved. There are items that reduce damage, things like that. But of course, only you can have those. Your enemy can't equip items. This is the level up phase. It happens every turn if, you know, you get people XP. In this instance, Roga and Seine, they both leveled. Seine levels really quick, I mentioned that before, and you can see the XP that they need. At the top here, it's probably hard to make out, and I understand that a lot of these smaller numbers are going to be difficult to see, and you don't really need to pay attention to those as you watch me play. It's not an important detail, so that's why I'm not too worried about it. I can explain it very easily, and I'll never have to mention it again, but she was at 35 out of 14 XP. She leveled up 21 out of 16. The XP that you gain, you know, it's still there. You keep it level to level. You don't overfill and then lose it. So it's all good there. Had to save over something. Had to see what I was saving over. I didn't know. But yeah, you can see my saves. And in any case, it doesn't show the overall level of your character, which bothered me a little bit at first, but I got over that pretty quick. You can basically get a rough estimate of their level based on, you know, the amount of XP that's required for them to level up again. That's really all you can do about it, honestly. So, you know. Or you can pay attention and keep track the hard way, but when you've got a lot of people, it is quite impossible to keep track of levels. So I tend to just say fuck it and do whatever. Yeah, but that was a pre-turn conversation thing, you know. That happens. And yeah, hell, I'll explain it now. I'll go check out a library book and explain the situation. This event right here, going to the library, is another event in the school chapter that forces you to choose between two characters. I'll say, though, that the character you choose is basically an Easter egg because you don't get them in this chapter. You get them way later in the game. Hours of gameplay later, you'll find them, which is weird. This is the first one. This is the one that I'll be obtaining. Hariyama Shimiko, I've never used her before, actually. But to obtain her, you need to check out a library book and then never give it back. When you get to the last chapter of the game, the national section of the game, have Roga suffer damage, fall at 19 or less health, and she'll appear. You kill her in a deathmatch, she's in your army. That's how it works. The other woman is, the same situation pretty much. There's no deathmatch, you just get her. And you need to return the library book. I like the other woman a lot more. I absolutely hate this one's character design. So you know that. I'll just move down the list and talk to whoever shows up. In this case, it's Yuki. So, there you go. Combat. I think I covered just about everything you need to know for now. There's still more, but not a big deal. It's not gonna impact your gameplay, really, in the first chapter of the game. So, there you go. The next hard decision that's coming up is, it's not really a hard decision, and it's already made for me. You have to choose between two teachers, or neither. You don't have to. You never have to recruit anybody in this chapter, really. Yeah, not really you don't. But, there are two teachers there, and they're both very interesting. One of them is a male lolicon, and the other one is a female Shotokan. I picked the Shotokan at first because, well, I figured that would lead to more H scenes, so that's why I picked her. But in this playthrough, I'll be picking the lolicon. So, that's how that goes. You know what? I'll let Roga rest. I'll pull him out, right? And I will move Yuki down here for defense. And I'm going to take the roof. So I don't have to worry about threats from above, right? I'll let Hibiki take this guy out. There we are. She's a mid-range fighter. He was a mid-range fighter. They both exchanged blows. That's all you need to know. Usually it's a better idea to have short-range fighters go up against long-range because short-range fighters have a lot higher counter chance than mid-range fighters. You see, that's usually how it works. You're going to use mid-range against short-range, long-range against mid-range, and mid-range against short-range. Or wait, I repeated myself. Short-range against long-range. There we go. Oh, shit. Anyway, this is Kyudo. Nakanishi Kyudo. She's the archer girl. Fuck. She's the sibling of Kendo. You know, the warrior girl. Get it? Kyudo, Kendo? Hopefully you do. They're both fighting styles, you know. Namesakes for the two girls. See you guys in the next part.